Despite brewing anger in the West Bank and UN calls to stop settlement expansion there, Israel is showing no intention of freezing its plans. Late last year, the Israeli government pledged thousands more homes in the long-disputed area known as E1, the vital corridor between large Palestinian areas. Our Middle East correspondent, Paula Sleer, reports on how the construction could prove fatal for any potential Palestinian state.
Its rugged, unremarkable landscape, largely empty, but full of meaning. This is one of the West Bank's most sensitive pieces of real estate. For 14 years, plans to build here have existed, but were kept on hold. But all that changed last November. Less than 24 hours after the UN General Assembly recognized Palestine as a non-member observer state, Tel Aviv fast-tracked construction plans here, prompting the Palestinian government to call it a slap in the face of the entire world.
This plan to build here is not legal according to international law, which states that when one country occupies another, it cannot change facts on the ground. Israel is doing exactly this, while also kicking people out of their land solely for the benefit of the settlers.
Known as E1, this controversial patch of earth exists between East Jerusalem, where Palestinians aspire to establish the capital of a future Palestinian state, and the huge Israeli settlement of Ma'ale Adumim. It is the last remaining corridor between the large Palestinian cities in the West Bank. And if plans go ahead and the Israelis extend this area, it would cut into a big chunk of the West Bank, effectively driving a wedge into the middle of any potential Palestinian state. Critics have warned that filling the space with Jewish homes amounts to a doomsday scenario, effectively striking a fatal heart attack to the two-state solution. But for now, the plan is to build a garbage dump in this valley with the waste that comes from Jerusalem, and then in about 20 to 30 years, when it's full, to build a park on top of it.
Here you can see.
But Palestinians fear it's part of a long-term strategy to extend E1 and build new Israeli settlements.
It's not surprising. This is not the first time that such a plan is submitted. It is a part of an ongoing policy that has been going for years now in attempt to grab Palestinian lands.
But first, the Israelis need to get rid of the people who live here. Among them, around 3 Arab Jerusalem neighborhoods and 150 Bedouins, for whom this has been home for nearly half a century. Mohammed Kirshen is angry. He says Tel Aviv doesn't want him and his tribe here, but it also refuses to allow them to return to their original village in the Negev desert, from where they fled after the creation of the state in 1948.
It is discrimination. They give the settlers everything they want, whereas we do not ask for anything besides staying in the land, and they want to evacuate us. Our children live surrounded by walls. It's like being in a prison. They will grow up and will not make peace in the future with the Israeli side.
Tel Aviv complains the Bedouin camps were set up illegally without permits and stand in the way of urban planning. But critics say this is just an excuse for a land grab.
It makes me furious. This dump site is going to harm the environment and it's going to harm the health of the people, and they make it harder and harder to find a solution for the situation.
Demolition orders have already been issued, threatening to destroy the last remnants of Bedouin life in these hills. And while Israeli officials say that construction in E1, if it happens at all, is many years away, it cuts to the heart of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, which fundamentally is about the land and the fate of the people who live on it. Paula Sleer, RT, in the West Bank.